So here is a short recording around the distinction between observations and interpretations with some examples. So observation is one of the components, the four components of NVC, and we distinguish that with interpretations. It's helpful just to get clear on what we mean by both of these terms. So an observation is something we can probably all agree on, or we are more likely to agree on. The purpose of an observation is to get to some indisputable territory, something that we can connect around and start to dialogue around. It's some agreement about, yes, this is what is happening, some shared reality, this is what is happening. Or, for example, this is what I did. So one example would be you interrupted me speaking in a way that is hard to be with. If someone said that to me, I can see, okay, I interrupted you and the way I did it was hard for you to be with. I can agree with that. Whereas an interpretation will include opinions, perspectives, judgments, exaggerations. It will include personal hurt, and it's always personal and it's always disputable. So same situation of me interrupting someone, the person might say to me, "You are trying to undermine me," and we know it's an interpretation when I go, "No, I'm not." I don't agree with that interpretation. I can agree that I interrupted in a certain way, but not that I'm trying to undermine the person. So here's one example. Let's look at a few more. And just as another, by way of another example, what are the indisputable observations in this scene? So, for example, we see a man who has his head in his hands, and he's sitting forward a little bit like this. His eyes are closed. And more disputable interpretations is that he's feeling sad, he's feeling stressed, he's feeling overwhelmed, he's just broken up with his partner, he's having a bad day at work. We don't know if these are true or not. And we might guess. It's like, I can see you've got your head in your hands. I wonder if you know there's something difficult going on for you right now, or what is going on for you right now. I don't quite know what's going on for you. What is going on for you right now? We can ask if we're not sure. The interpretations will involve more assumptions. That's another word, another way we can think about it. Okay, let's look at a few more examples. So we have three more examples. Let's look at which words are evaluations and how can we make observations so they still hold all the truth. That's important. We'll explore what that means. So we have work colleagues, and let's say they're walking along and then there's another work colleague who then says, "You ignored me," to these two people who are walking in, obviously talking to each other. A different way of saying it is, when you came in and didn't say hello, I felt hurt and confused. That's another work colleague talking to these two. So what we have here is we have an observation when you came in and didn't say hello. And we also have the feeling, which is the other component of nonviolent communication. I felt hurt and confused. When we have a word like ignored, what is happening is the interpretation and the feeling are getting very mixed up. And what we are trying to do in nonviolent communication is provide greater clarity. When you came in and didn't say hello, I felt hurt and confused. Here we have the two components and we're separating them to have clearer communication. Another example, another workplace. You manipulated the report. Here's an interpretation. One possible way of saying it is when I saw the data was different, I felt shocked. That's one possible observation that could happen. Another one is this: when you change the data without consulting me, I felt shocked. You can only really say that if you know they changed the data. If you don't know for sure that they changed the data, then it's more of an interpretation. So there we have it. When I saw the data was different, I felt shocked. That's probably a more easy observation to make. And then one final one, kids. So here's an interpretation. They are permissive parents. They let their children run riot. This is a judgment around what parents are doing with their children. One thing that could say when their kids scream in the back garden, I feel on edge. It really impacts me. So here's the observation, kids screaming in the back garden. Maybe we can all agree that that is happening. And then my feeling or the impact on me is I feel on edge, and I'm saying it really impacts me. So I hope that's helpful to just explore a few examples around what I mean when I say observation and what I mean when I say interpretation or evaluation. Bye.